Hello everybody, I am Mike from the Rewatch Project podcast, and I am back with another edition of Front Row, these music performance reaction videos, and I am back in the wonderful world, the wonderful psychedelic, otherworldly realm of early Genesis with another song from the Selling England by the Pound album, namely I Know What I Like, In Your Wardrobe. Never heard this song before in my life, as far as I know, so this should be, as is always the case, a pure as the Driven Snow first time listen reaction. Before getting into that though, just a quick reminder that I do pause these songs, I do talk over them. That is how I choose to react. It is what it is. However, I would strongly urge you to listen to I Know What I Like in its entirety if you have not done so before, prior to listening to me spoil it by talking all over it. And I would also invite you to check out the other content on this channel, including the Rewatch Project podcast, where in that case we go back and rewatch some of our favourite film and television franchises, in addition to the other film, TV and music reaction related pop cultural goodness that cohabits this here channel. Donations via PayPal are also very much appreciated, if and only if you can afford to do so without causing yourself any financial hardship, because we certainly don't want that. So yeah, Genesis, as I mentioned before, I went for a little bit of a Genesis phase in my teens, but that was very much the Phil Collins era. I was really into the Invisible Touch album, and that was more just an offshoot of the fact that I liked Phil Collins' solo stuff at the time, because everybody did in 1985, you know. No Jacket Required came out, and I think that there wasn't as much of a distinction between Genesis and Phil Collins really in that time. You know, if you listen to songs like Invisible Touch and Land of Confusion and Tonight, 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 In Too Deep, you know, those big hits from that Invisible Touch album, you know, they were somewhat indiscernible from Phil, to my ears at least, to Phil Collins solo stuff. So I never really ever listened to the Peter Gabriel albums. I remember getting one of them, I think Nursery Crime, out of the library when I was really into Invisible Touch, and I played it and was like, what the hell is this? You know, I was just too young to get into it, so it's really interesting going back. I covered the cinema show, which really, really blew me away, and a number of people said to check out this song, I Know What I Like, so I will do so now and let you know what I think. Yeah, not too sure what to expect. This is a significantly shorter song than the one before, so I think maybe after this I'll try another one of their epic songs. So suggestions very much appreciated. But yeah, Genesis, I Know What I Like, In Your Wardrobe. Here we go.
It's 1 o'clock and time for lunch. Bum-de-dum-de-dum.
Eccentric already.
Down, and I lie on the bench. I can always hear them talk.
There's always been Ethel. Jacob, wake up. We got to tidy your room now. And then Mr. Lewis. Wasn't the time that he was out on his own. Over the garden wall. Two little lovebirds, cuckoo to you. Keep them moving, they sharp. I know what I like, and I like what I know. Getting better in your wardrobe, stepping one beyond your shoes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Stop there for a moment. This is funky. This is so in the pocket. That bass and those drums. And a few people, okay, made fun of me. And I'm ignorant. You know, this is a first time listen for me. I don't know this back catalogue. You know, as somebody who loves music and loves film and is a geek for some of these things, but like all of us, I have these gaps. You know, this is quite a vulnerable thing for me to be exposing my ignorance like this. But I mentioned, you know, that I really liked the drummer. And of course, the drummer was Phil Collins, you know. So that just seemed like a really random way of anonymizing this incredibly famous person. But I don't know these things, you know. I know that he took over as singer. I know he was the drummer in Genesis, but I don't know the exact, genesis of his role in the band and when he came in. But that bass and that, it's really funky. And there's a kind of almost Eastern sitar-y kind of Beatles-y, drony, psychedelic thing going on in the background that gives it this really propulsive, tight, sound. I mean, I've got no idea what the song's about. You know, we've got this, you know, again, this eccentric world building from the vocals from Peter Gabriel at the beginning, you know, and it is almost like the beginning. It's so cinematic. There's this, from what I've heard, this very, very small amount, extremely cinematic early Genesis. And, you know, you've almost got narration. It's almost like, you know, exterior, daytime, factory. You know, you feel like you're being brought into this world. And a few people in the comments resonated with what I was saying about how I could really imagine this being a kind of dreamscape for young people, or well, not even just young people, for people in the 70s, you know, the pre-video age, where if you wanted to sort of surround yourself with the world, you did that through art and literature and comic books and posters and imagination, and music, you know, of course, was a huge part of that. And I can imagine people sitting there with their headphones on, you know, holding that, poring over that cover art. I remember doing that, you know, these gatefold sleeves and just dreaming and, you know, escaping the world into this other place. And from the beginning of the song, you get that, but also here what you get is some great pop music, which I wasn't expecting. You know, it's funny, I know famously Oasis are always giving Phil Collins a hard time, but this kind of psych, in the pocket psych drone that I'm hearing here, I could almost imagine in a later Oasis song. It's kind of ironic, really, that I think they would probably, I can imagine Noel Gallagher really liking this, but this is just so modern sounding and so pop and just great, tight, early 70s rock and roll. I'm going to go back to the beginning. This is just funky, really liking this. Great melodies as well. And just amazing instrumentation, very tasteful. So again, here we are. This feels like we're moving into a liminal space here. And we're being invited in to this other realm, you know?
It's 1 o'clock and time for lunch. Bum-de-dum-de-dum. When the sun beats down and I lie on the bench, I can always hear them talk.
There's always been Ethel. Jacob, wake up, we got to tidy your room now.
Kind of sitar-y Eastern circular thing in the background really helps.
This is the time that he was out on his own. Over the garden wall, two little lovebirds, cuckoo to you.
It's really witty as well. There's fills from Phil. Headphones falling out. Enjoying it too much. Oh, it's those drums. It's almost like a kind of kettle drum rhythm.
Sunday night, Mr. Farmer called, said, listen, son, you're wasting time. There's a future for you in the fire escape train. Come up to town.
The rhythm of the vocals as well is just so, the syncopation and the just the cadence is really interesting.
Sunday night, Mr. Farmer called, said, listen, son, you're wasting time. There's a future for you in the fire escape train. Come up to town. But I remember the voice from the past.
So tight.
Lonely page when you're winning. Had to thank old Miss Rose for schooling a failure. Keep moving short. I know.
This is great. It's those little fills, they're so simple, but they're so effective. Here we are. Oh, yeah. Stabs.
When the sun beats down and I lie on the bench, I can always hear them talk.
It's like a rap.
Me? I'm just a lawnmower. You can tell me by the way I walk.
Oh. 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 That's so funky. Oh. 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 Oh my gosh, that flute or pipe or whatever it is, when that comes in.
I can always hear them talk. Me? I'm just a lawnmower. You can tell me by the way I walk.
That's such a dynamic. And this rhythm it hits here. It's kind of just descending, and you can almost see the band in a circle, just locked in with each other, building this incredible momentum, but with a real pop sensibility as well that I wasn't expecting from Genesis this early. Got a long fade out here as well. Wow. Yeah, I mean, well, they could do it all, couldn't they? I mean, this is so different to the cinema show, you know, not just, I mean, it's almost a different medium, isn't it? But just the wit and the cleverness and the Englishness of this as well, you know, when everything really was just coming out of, even in the early 70s, it was still coming from blues, wasn't it? You know, the majority of rock and roll and Appalachian music and a lot of American influences, but this feels very English. Yeah, what a great eccentric pop song, you know, in the way that like a lot of the great Britpop songs would be, you know, many decades later, where, you know, if you look at music by a lot of the bands like Pulp, where it was, you know, very artistic, it was very, you know, and David Bowie as well, I guess, in this, you know, there was a very artistic sentiment and integrity behind it, but it was never at the expense of melody and just aesthetics and just enjoyment. And this song just sounds great and is just so, it just makes you want to move, and it makes you want to kind of just, you know, pull those faces that you play when you're in a band and you just really lock into a groove. And the choices, the taste, the judgments and the dynamics on this are sensational. Wow. Wow. I'm really stoked. I really want to listen to a lot more early Genesis. Guide me through this. Quick reminder to check out the other content on this channel, the other film, TV, music and general pop culture related goodness that cohabits. And also, please, donations via PayPal, just to support the upkeep of the channel, if and only if you can afford to do so without causing yourself any financial hardship. Whoa, mama. Genesis. Wow.